Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. It's the big one in more ways than one. It's a big one for Arsenal, it's a big one for Manchester United, and it's a big one for Erik ten Hag. I'm even going to give you a combined Man United Arsenal 11. Don't know how I'm going to get a United player in that. I'll show you the team I think is going to play on Sunday, as Manchester United take on Arsenal at Old Trafford. Massive game in relation to the title, massive game in relation to Ten Hag's future, massive game for some of these players. Who will be back? How will it play out? Do you want to win? Would you rather let Arsenal win in the hope that they beat Man City? Or do 3 points help us? Also, can I just draw your attention? That is not a big zit. It actually is an impact injury. All I can say is I'm not going to use the old chestnut of I walked into a door. I was walking down the street and a ball hit me from nowhere. I picked the ball up and it said property of Chelsea Football Club. Now, I live in the Midlands, so whoever's hit that, that's a really bad miss. I'm thinking Werner. But Chelsea, you're not having your ball back. I popped it. Anyway, let's get on to the show. Manchester United against Arsenal at Old Trafford on Sunday. Do you not just feel a little bit tired about this? I mean, I just basically want to get to the FA Cup final, watch that and see what Man United are going to do about the manager, because it's causing me a lot of stress. It's making me feel ill. I get the debate about Ten Hag, but I also do not want Gareth Southgate. I don't really want Tuchel. And the horrible thing is that I want the players out. I want Ten Hag to stay. Everybody knows that. But if we are going to get rid of Ten Hag, I want to feel optimistic and not Tuchel or neither Southgate. They make me feel ill. They don't make me feel optimistic. They make me feel ill. They make me feel like this football club's going to get worse over the next few years. And I can't take it. But look, that leads into this game because it's perplexing. It really is perplexing. We're playing Arsenal, who are currently top of the league. If we were to beat or draw with them, I think it gives Man City the title. They're probably still going to win it anyway, but Arsenal need to win to keep that alive and open. So do we stand aside? Well, it might not even be a choice for us, because actually when you deep it, Arsenal should be comfortably winning this game. They're top of the league for away record. They've got 39 points from 18 away games. Man City have got 38. 12 wins, 3 draws and 3 losses. They've only conceded 13 goals in 18 away games and they've scored 42. So they're averaging well over 2 goals a game. They've had clean sheets in 56% of their away games this season. So they're a force. They're a dominant force, and they're going to come to Manchester United and they are going to give us a really, really tough task. Our home record puts us 9th. We've won 8 games, we've drawn 6, and we've lost 3 at home this season. But you know what? I look at that league table. We are down in 5th now. We're down in 8th now. We've played the same amount of games as Newcastle and Chelsea. Chelsea, we've got the same points, but their goal difference is way, way better than ours. And Newcastle are obviously 2 points ahead of us. We do play Newcastle. If we were to beat Newcastle, beat Arsenal and beat Brighton, we might have a chance. But I think Chelsea might win their last 3 anyway. I've sort of given up on 6th place, but I would love to see these players not give up and give us something. I know the manager debate will reign on. I know that sadly there will probably be some United fans that privately or even publicly want us to lose. I'll never understand that. How you can publicly want United to lose. I just don't get it. You can't turn off your support on and off like a tap or a light switch. It's a dangerous thing to play that game. Always want United to win. And that is why I'm going to say right here, right now, I actually do not care about Arsenal's pledge to win this league. I don't care. Obviously, I want Arsenal to win the league over Manchester City, but Manchester United comes first. I don't think we're going to get 6th anyway, and I completely understand people going, if we're not going to get 6th, we may as well let Arsenal win so they can try and stop Man City. But even at that, I can't do that. I want Arsenal to beat Man City to the title, I really do, but I want Man United to win. I just can't play that game. We need the points. We need some momentum. We need some, there's going to be 75,000 fans there. Are we really just going to roll over for Arsenal? We've got to start somewhere, and switching it off. It's the same with the players. I can't say that as a fan, you shouldn't be switching your support on and off. I hope we lose to Arsenal, and when everything goes my way, I hope we win again. And as a player, you can't do that either. It's dangerous. We're 2 weeks out from the FA Cup final. If you're going to switch off your attention for Arsenal and then try and switch it on for Man City, you're going to struggle. You've got to start switching on now. The big problem we're going to have is, even if they do switch it on, that team's not beating Arsenal. It's the same as Crystal Palace. That team is just not going to beat Arsenal. Arsenal have got Saka, they've got a brilliant midfield with Declan Rice, a very, very strong back four. They're hard to score against. So, yeah, I mean, I'd love to say that we'll have a centre-back back other than Johnny Evans. I'd love to say that we'll have Marcus Rashford back to give us more options off the bench. But I just don't see it. I don't think we're going to rush those players back. And I think that, sometimes you look out, you want to go out in your swimming trunks. It's raining. It's raining out there, and it's going to be raining goals, I think. I think Evans and Casemiro, Wan-Bissaka and Dalot up against the likes of Saka and Trossard and Havertz and the movement that they've got, and Odegaard, it's going to be difficult. Look, I've gone with Mount in the midfield with hopefully a returning Bruno just to give us some mobility, because Eriksen, as much as I don't think Mount's box to box, Eriksen definitely isn't. So, maybe McTominay could be back for this game, but that midfield is going to struggle against Rice, Odegaard, and probably Partey. It's going to get dominated. And then Højlund, Garnacho, and Antony, or even if Rashford's back, is going to struggle against the dominance of Saliba and Gabriel and Ben White. So we are very weak in relation to what is available for us. And I think even if we had our best team, you would still put Arsenal as favourites. So I hate to say it, but going into a game like this, if anybody's actually honestly thinking that, we should be beating Arsenal at Old Trafford, I think there has to be a reality. I mean, I don't want to see us get beat 6 or 7-0, but I can see the white flags coming out for some of these players again. And unfortunately, I think some of those white flags will come out from players that it shouldn't come out from. Look, I don't want to individualise it. It's not fair. But Casemiro, come on. You've got to play with some bloody discipline. You're one of the most experienced players in world football. Play with some bloody discipline. Stop flying into tackles and playing so gung-ho. This is going to take a huge effort for Man United to get anything out of it. And we don't deserve this as fans. We deserve a bit of positivity. We have got a cup final in a couple of weeks, and it would be nice to see a little bit of, composure, a little bit of organisation, a little bit of togetherness. But I don't expect it. I don't expect it. Remember what we saw in the news yesterday, that some this is incredible. Some United players think that Ten Hag's going to get the sack, and it's making them drop off on their performance. I mean, that was actually written in a mainstream UK newspaper. That is just incredible to me. If I was in that dressing room and I thought a manager was going to get sacked, would I use that as an excuse to, drop off by 10%? I'd be like, I play for Manchester United. There's millions of fans worldwide that love this football club. I love this football club. This manager might get the sack, but I play for this club. I play for me. Have pride in that shirt. I'm not dropping off. It's the accumulation of the weak mentality players that we've put together in that shirt over the last 10 years. And they're not all like that, but you're only as strong as your weakest link. And if you've got one or two players that don't fancy it, then it's like a sand castle that's been built, and when it starts to get dry in the corner and it starts to crumble and the whole thing comes down, you might have 7 or 8 players that really want to give it, but if 2 or 3 don't, you will crumble. And look, it could just be a load of nonsense in a newspaper, but it's terrifying that sort of stuff's coming out. It's almost like they think it's okay that you start to down tools a bit because you don't think the manager's going to be here any longer. If anything, it should be galvanising. It's Manchester United against Arsenal. But look, I expect Arsenal to win, and for me, it's about how many they do win. I've seen a few Arsenal games over the season, and I've seen a few Arsenal games in recent weeks, and they're very well organised. They're very, very focused, and I think they're determined to win every single game they can to put some pressure onto Manchester City. Now, whether that'll be enough or not, I don't know, but I think they will beat us on Sunday. Interestingly, just as a bit of a side point, a lot of people over the years, when it's been a closer game, we would do a combined 11. I was asked this if I could bring it into the preview, which I'm more than happy. I mean, I remember in the past doing videos, combined 11s on their own. They used to be that interesting, but I think realistically, goalkeeper is going to be Raya. Right back is going to be Ben White. Centre backs are going to be Gabriel and Saliba. Left back, I don't really think Arsenal have a great left back. But if we're doing it based on who's available now, I would probably go with their left back if it's Tomiyasu. But if we're doing based on best players, it would be Luke Shaw. Into the midfield, it's got to be Declan Rice and it's got to be Odegaard. In the box-to-box role, I would put Mainu there. I know Arsenal fans will be screaming and shouting about the likes of Partey, but he's only really just come back. I would put Mainu there, honestly. I really, really would. I certainly wouldn't put Havertz there. And then the front three, well, it's got to be Saka off the right. Look, it has to be Havertz. I want to put Rasmus there, but that would be just red-tinted glasses favouritism. I want to put Rasmus there, but in recent weeks, Havertz has scored a lot of goals. Now, I think Rasmus would score a lot of goals in an Arsenal shirt, but we can't, on the one hand, say he gets no service and then put him up front in a combined 11 with Arsenal because you think he's better than Havertz. I mean, Havertz is scoring goals. It's got to be Havertz. And on the left-hand side, I would like to put Garnacho there because I think Martinelli and Trossard have almost cancelled themselves out. But if I'm being completely honest, I think Trossard has been a revelation for Arsenal in the last few weeks. So I'd have to put Trossard there. I want to put Garnacho there. I want to put Rasmus up front. But I think that's... I think they are victims of a Man United side that's not supported them in more ways than one. So 2 United players in there. And I still think Arsenal fans would moan at that. But I think Luke Shaw is a better left back than any left back they've got. And I think that Mainu deserves to be in there. But Arsenal fans will scream and shout, well, you're putting Luke Shaw in there. He's been injured all season. So's Partey. So why is Mainu there? And it's a good point. But, yeah, I think Mainu between Rice and Odegaard and Luke Shaw at left back are probably the only 2 you can make a claim for. Look, I'd like to put Martinez in there. I'm wearing the Butcher t-shirt. But he's played hardly any football all season. And Gabriel, to me, gets in a team of the season for the Premier League. I think he's been brilliant for them this season. So get your comments in on that if you've got any agreements on that. I suppose there is another backdrop story here as well. I expect Arsenal to win the game comfortably. I've seen Arsenal beat Man United at Old Trafford before and go on to win titles. Was it 2002? I think I remember. I was at a works do. I was at my leaving do in Dublin in the Hairy Lemon, and it would have been, I believe, April 2002. Arsenal beat us, I think, 2-0 to win the league. Correct me if I'm wrong, I think Wiltord scored a goal. I remember going down to the bar to get a pint in and I could see it on and people said, you must be gutted. I said, no, they were better than us. I'll have a pint of Guinness. So look, we've witnessed it before. Arsenal come to Old Trafford on a title chase, on a title run. And maybe that's going to happen again. I think logically it probably will. But just bringing it back to the future, remember, there is a backdrop here. Whether people like it or not, it's a debate point. Arsenal with Arteta out, T-shirts, get him out of our club. He's an embarrassment. You know, Piers Morgan was doing it all over Twitter. Look at where they are now. There is a lesson there. There is a lesson there. And I said this last night. Sometimes history can teach you things. Some people would say, look at Sir Alex Ferguson. I mean, that was the late 80s. But look at Arteta at Arsenal. The football wasn't great. They were 8th in the league. A lot of people were saying get rid of him. He's lost control. He's not picking Aubameyang. He's got rid of big egos. It's not going well for them. And look at where they are now. It got worse to get better. Could Man United be missing a trick by getting rid of Ten Hag? And also, if you're going to go for Thomas Tuchel, there is that thing I said on the show last night. Dutch manager sacked for ex-Chelsea coach. We've been there before. Van Gaal sacked for Mourinho. Didn't work. Ten Hag sacked for ex-Chelsea manager Tuchel. And I tell you what, at that time, Mourinho's star was shining a lot brighter than that of Tuchel. So, look, maybe we should learn from history, or maybe it's just a coincidence, but it's certainly something to keep in your hat, isn't it? Because when you look at Arsenal and what they've done by sticking with Arteta and sticking to a plan, you know, it's interesting. But of course, the flip side to that is, did Ineos appoint Tuchel? Did Ineos appoint Ten Hag? No. They've inherited Ten Hag. And how many times have we seen new owners come in and say, this isn't the guy we appointed? And that might be a problem. It might be a problem for Ten Hag. We've seen that countless times as well. Genuinely, I don't know which way this is going to go at the moment. But in relation to this game, I firmly believe it will be an Arsenal win, which will obviously elongate their title hopes. And look, maybe by the time they play us, Fulham have done Arsenal a favour, which makes it even more interesting. I don't think they necessarily will. As for Manchester United, look, going back to the league table, if we were to lose, I think Chelsea and Newcastle will both win over the weekend. So we'll be, cut adrift really in 8th place. I mean, we could finish as low as 9th if West Ham sort of have a bit of renaissance and start closing the gap in on us. We could finish as low as 10th if Bournemouth do as well. I mean, we're only 6 points ahead of Bournemouth and 5 points ahead of West Ham. We're also 6 points away from, 5 points away from equaling our worst ever. What was the worst ever points total under Ranić and Ollie? Was it 59? So you've got to bear that in mind as well. We need 2 wins to not have our worst ever season. But you know what? I must just say on that, I think some people are getting a bit carried away with the amount of games we've lost and the points total. If we're being completely honest here, are we not actually, honestly, with ourselves, already open arms looking at the worst ever season we've had in the Premier League anyway? I mean, I've sort of acknowledged that the injury crisis has been nothing short of incredible. Incredible. The amount of times this season I've gone, I give up. When you hear about yet another injury, it has been relentlessly depressing. I already feel that if we get our worst Premier League points total, it would be fitting, because I feel that countless times this season, Rashford out in Belfast, Anthony getting arrested in Brazil, Sancho not playing for 3 months, the sale of the club not happening until Christmas Eve, no January transfer activity, the immense amount of injuries week after week. This player's injured, this player's injured, this player walking off injured. I feel that it's been an onslaught from August to now of constant bad news. So if we don't get our worst ever Premier League points total, I'd actually be surprised, because really it's logical. This whole season has been disgusting from start to finish. It's just been constant negativity. It's been an absolute nightmare for fans. And even that Ollie and Ranić season, with all the leaks and the sackings, I don't remember it being as constantly depressing week after week from August to May. This season almost deserves to be our worst ever Premier League points total, because it surely should be remembered as our worst ever Premier League season. And as I said, not all of that is on Ten Hag. It's very, very, very unfair to put it all on Ten Hag. It's not Ten Hag who refused to play or went out in Belfast or, got arrested or held up the sale or didn't spend in January or sent the only fit left back we've got back or, forced all the injuries. It's just been an absolute cursed season. So I actually feel that we probably will get our worst ever Premier League points total. And at this point, it would be fitting, because it has been the worst ever Premier League season I've known. And I've witnessed them all. I've witnessed every single one, and I don't think I've ever known a season like it. So for all the moaning, it would be fitting, because it is the worst ever Premier League season we've had. And I don't think anything's going to change that, which is why it would be miraculous if we could take an FA Cup from it, because it would be a positive that the fans deserve in a season that's just been horrific, really. Anyway, get your comments in. Let me know what your combined 11 is. Let me know what your thoughts are on the game. Do you expect anybody else to come back? And most important of all, get in the comments and let me know what your thoughts are. Are you happy or content or willing to put up with losing this game if it allows Arsenal to stay in the title race? Or is that a stretch too far? Is that a step too far? Sorry. Are you focused on United winning? Because that's what I am. I want us to win. I don't think we will win. But if somebody said, you've got the power, do you let Arsenal win and go for the title, or is it a United win every day of the week? I'd take the United win. Sorry, Arsenal fans, I want you to win, but I can't switch off on and off when I want us to win and when I want not to win. Thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe, and I'll speak to you on the next one. Take care.